Hey there, welcome to another Curtis Stage video tutorial. Today's tutorial is in Photoshop and we're going to do some animation. This is our third animation tutorial. Let's get started. So I'm going to open up a new document, click Create New, and once you do that, I'm just going to pick the Instagram size 1080 by 1920. As you see here, click Create, and I've basically got my video timeline open, but if you don't have it open, go up to Window, Timeline, and then I'm going to click Create Video Timeline. You'll notice I have one layer by default in there, and I'm going to extend this bottom layer out a little bit. Maybe that might be a little too far. Let me bring that back in, but you can see what my duration is when I'm on that. Now I'm going to add a new layer, and this layer is going to be what our drawing is going to be on. So I'm going to zoom into this, and I'm going to get down to the frame level. I don't want these drawings to be very long in frames. If I press this little button right here, I can kind of see how many frames this comprises, because you can just kind of step via frames. So step, 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 that, it's like 5 frames. I want it to, I want each one of these to be about 5 frames. The less frames you have per one of these video chunk drawings, the more smooth your animation is going to be. So this is, right around 4 or 5 frames right here, 6, I don't know, something in there, 5. All right. So now I'm going to take my paintbrush tool. I'm just going to do a simple mouth thing. I'm going to stick with the whole Rolling Stones idea. Well, it's not really a Rolling Stones logo that I'm drawing, but I'm going to stick with the whole mouth thing that we were doing in our last tutorial. So I'm going to make an open and close mouth situation here. So I'm going to draw kind of the mid-level. I'm not going to start extreme. When I'm doing characters, I'm not going to start with their extreme features. So this is maybe mouth, just regular talking mode. I don't know, pretty extreme mouth, you might say. But if in animation world, this is kind of a normal, kind of in-between frame. I know I'm drawing it first, but it's a normal in-between frame. So I'm just, keeping it simple here. I'm not even really changing my paintbrush or anything. I'm not even drawing on a tablet. I'm just drawing with because most of you guys don't have tablets right now. So I'm just drawing with my mouse. So I'm keeping this pretty simple. And we'll speed through this part here real quick where I fill in the mouth. All right, once you've got that filled in, great. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another frame onto this, which really is another layer. So I'm gonna add another layer in here. Maybe add a little bit more to this drawing here. And I'm going to add another layer. This is going to be my next frame. So this is the next version of the mouth. Now, of course, Photoshop does this. Unless you duplicate the layer, which I don't want to do, it makes it the size of your timeline. So I'm going to drag that down to the run right after another. Now I'm going to put my cursor in between the two, or playhead in between. I'm going to turn on onion skinning. Onion skin, enable onion skin. What that does is it allows me to see my previous drawing with the one that I'm drawing on. So the previous drawing you can see is, the opacity is down on it, so I can see it. I know I'm not on that one. And in the settings, you can change the opacity level. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the next mouth here. So I'm going to draw the next version of it. And in this one, it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be just a slight bit more open on closed on this one. So this one's going to be just the next version. So you can kind of get a picture of what that's going to look like. Doesn't really help you if you play it, because it's going to play that whole timeline. So you just can scrub through the two and just kind of see, okay, that's kind of cool. All right, now I'm going to move these two down and create a new layer. And this one's going to be this one is going to be the next in line. So I'm just making my sequence here. And moving this to the front, because I'm going to now do the more open version of this mouth. So remember I said that the first one was kind of an in-between phase. So now I'm going to do the more open version, so you can switch their order, right? When I switch their order, the layer order changes as well. So now I'm going to make this one just a little bit more open. My lips maybe probably should be a little bit bigger, but whatever. We'll get the idea of this. So now you can see, I'm going to shorten these up a little bit. Now you can see where I've got, I'm turning the onion skin off, and you can kind of see where I've got a good sequence of opening and closing here. I'm going to need a few more frames to make this look realistic, or closer to realistic. 3 is not going to cut it. Okay, so I'm just kind of seeing where I've got here. So, maybe I need one. The next one needs to be more closed. Okay, so I'm going to add a layer, and with adding this layer, now what I'm going to do, shrink this back down. It's kind of a lame feature in here. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have expanded that timeline so big. When you're doing yours, maybe don't expand your bottom layer so long. So now I'm looking through this. This one's going to be a tighter version here. So yeah, I gotta okay. So this one's going to be more mouth closed. So I'm going to turn my onion skinning back on. And draw this just a tighter mouth here. Oop, sometimes when I start that again. Not drawing with a tablet is kind of funky. With your mouse, my mouse was kind of backwards when I picked it up. Okay, so I got kind of, maybe make the line the right direction. Put a few lines here on the side just to kind of indicate mouth is kind of closing, little dimple marks possibly. Okay, and then I'm going to put those dimple marks on this one too, because the mouth was getting a little closer to being closed. So it's just kind of helping with the action there. All right, so that's pretty good. So kind of open, close. Now I need probably something at the start to make this even more open, a little extreme. So let's do that one. So I'm gonna go and add another layer on here. I could go and duplicate this layer to put it on the front and make it more closed. So I'm gonna take it and copy and bring it over to the front. So now I've got a front close, open. Let me shorten this thing. I've had it with this being so long. I didn't need to stretch it out that long. Please don't do that when you do yours. Okay, so still too long, but whatever. All right, let me just get a little shorter. All right, there we go. Okay, so now you can see when I play this, let me turn the onion skinning off, enable onion skin, and when I play this, you get this nice thing going on here. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty close. Let me get another layer here. So I think what I do is I need one in this spot right here where the, oops, added my layer in the wrong spot, but I need one in this spot. I'm gonna put my playhead over there and then bring it in. Okay, well that pushed everything down. So sometimes that happens, you just gotta be careful. When I pull these down, they're the ones that are gonna go with it. So that's kind of good. When I pull this big one down, it kind of pushed everything down. See that? That's okay. And now I'm going to take it and move it into that spot there. I want something a little wider here. So I'm going to take this. I don't want that there. So I'm going to go from there to there. I'm going to flip these. So let me shrink this down. Or maybe a little wider after that one. So that's good. So it'll be on my third frame, essentially, that I'm going to go wider. So it's going to really kind of be an extreme mouth open. So let me turn my onion skin back on. And right, you can enable, or you can do the, and then click on that layer, and now I'm going to do this more extreme open just to give it one more level, almost around, almost it's a pretty wide mouth, but you get the idea. When you do yours, take your time and try to align things up the best you can. I didn't really spend a lot of time aligning the teeth up Probably could be doing that a little bit better, but anyway. It's nice if you make the teeth exactly the same on each one, clearly, but one's a little rough. It's all right. You got to do a few of these to kind of, I'm doing it quick here, but you got to do a few of these to get the hang of it. I'm gonna make this tongue kind of curl up a little bit right there, and then I'm going to fill in. Okay, cool. Now we're starting to see, turn the onion skin off. Now we're starting to see, let me play it. You've got this kind of extreme opening, and then, yeah, that looks good. That's good. Maybe one more layer that's going to be a more closed mouth at the end, and then we should be good to go. And then I can add, let me do that real quick. Turn my onion skin back on. You got to have the onion skin because there's no way you can see where your alignment registration of your prior mouth is, right? So there we go, something like that. Move these guys down. So nice. Now I've got that the way I want it. Okay, cool. So that's all looking good. Now what's great about this is you can see that I can go over here and group this selection and move my mouth down lower in my frame here, in my canvas. So by grouping those, doing the move tool and group selection, I'm gonna put a layer above this. This is where I'll draw in some of the other face features. Now I could animate all those too. That's a lot. We don't have time for that. But I'm going to put some basic wonky eyes in here. Now remember, if this layer is just a solid layer that spans the whole amount of these frames, those eyes will stay on the screen. They're not moving, right? The mouth is moving because it's got individual frames. This is a still layer that's not moving, and I'm putting a little nose in. And again, it's going to happen on every frame. So pretty cool, and maybe a little chin down here. I'm going to the biggest part of my mouth so I can really judge where that is. Nice, and then if I want to export this, right, I'm going to render video and pick a folder and render that out. Let me do that again, render and pick a folder. I'm going to go to the desktop so I can find it easy and give it a name, right? Face or whatever. And then there it is on my desktop. And there we go. Little animation there, face animation. Pretty cool. All right, we'll talk to you guys next time.